HarperCollins presents The Girl with the Emerald Flag by Kathleen Mcgurl, read by Alix Dunmore.
For Jo, Lou and Ali, my friends, for so very many years. All changed utterly. A terrible beauty is born. W.B. Yeats, Easter 1916. Prologue, May 1916. She wondered if she'd simply dreamt it all. For a sweet, brief moment that morning when she woke at dawn. Perhaps none of it had really happened. Last night in the prison chapel, the few days in a cell with other women, and even the week before that, the week of rebellion. Was any of it real? In her hand she was clutching a handkerchief. She brought it to her face, wondering if it held any scent of either of them. But there was nothing. The initials G.G. and J.P. were embroidered in a corner, entwined in a loving knot. It had been dropped and forgotten last night in the chapel, and she'd picked it up. Holding it now gave Gráinne a little comfort. It was a tiny reminder that things had once been normal. Handkerchiefs had been embroidered and given as gifts, and maybe those days might come again, in time. She thought about her friend Grace, who'd embroidered the handkerchief, and Joseph, to whom it had been given, and wondered what they were doing now, what they were thinking, how they were dealing with the horrors of this day that had barely even begun. And as she had that thought, shots rang out in the prison yard, as Gráinne had known they would. A volley of shots, fired all at once, on a command given by some unknown officer. A volley of shots that ended the life of someone Gráinne had fought alongside. She crossed herself and muttered a prayer for the soul of whoever it was, bringing the handkerchief close to her face once more. Was it all worth it? Had any of it been worth it? They had not succeeded, not the way she'd hoped they would. It had all ended in less than a week, with loss of life, and now, these terrible dawn executions. The rebellion had ripped the city apart. It had torn families and loved ones apart. Grace and Joseph, herself and Emmett. They'd fought for what they believed in, fought for the greater good. But for themselves as individuals, it had been little more than a tragic disaster. She'd never forget a minute of it, she knew. She was so young still. But for as long as she lived, she knew this last week or two would shape her life forever. Chapter 1, February 1998. Nikki didn't really have a lot of choice. Mum was coming today, whether Nikki liked it or not. And if she didn't go to meet her mum in the campus cafe as arranged, Mum would come up to Nikki's accommodation and bang on the door, demanding to be let in. It would be so embarrassing. Why couldn't she just leave her alone? Nikki was 19. She was an adult, for goodness sake. She'd left home, gone to university, and was making her own way in the world now. She didn't need her parents on her back the whole time. But her mum didn't seem able to accept that. Nikki pulled on her battered leather jacket. It had been a present from Connor, her boyfriend from back home, who was now at a different university. Even though the jacket was second-hand, it would have cost him a fortune, and she'd appreciated the thought he had put into choosing it. It was exactly her taste, and she loved it. She stuffed her purse into her pocket. Mum would no doubt ask why she didn't use a handbag like other women, and would then ask if she'd like one for her next birthday, and Nikki would say no. They'd had that whole conversation several times. Why couldn't Mum see that pockets were easier to use, simpler? She sighed, closed the window of her study bedroom, hung up the towel that she'd dropped on the floor after her morning shower, and left the room, locking it behind her. She checked the clock in the shared kitchen area. 10 minutes until she was due to meet Mum. Long enough to walk through the campus to the cafe and be there on time. Although she'd rather be late. Just a couple of minutes late. Long enough for Mum to start looking at her watch and sighing.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?